Hey everybody, it's Marla Martinson, and you are watching another episode of Conversations with Cupid, and I'm with Brenda Crozier again today. Hey
Hi,
Brenda! And it's still working, it's great!
Yay!
Yay! We had internet problems last time, and it's all smooth today. It's meant to be.
Thank you guys.
We just did a really fun video about pendulums, and we're continuing on the divination path. And Brenda is going to give us her expertise on tarot cards.
Let me tell you about tarot cards. Well, first of all, there is a huge difference, and if you'll excuse me for 1 minute, I'm just going to move those over. There is a huge difference between tarot, which is the Rider-Waite deck, which I have here, and oracle cards, which I have my Gaia ones here. Now, the tarot cards, by rule, they are 78 cards with major and minor arcana, and they usually have 4 suits, which is the cups, the wands, the swords, and the pentacles. That's usually rule of thumb with all tarot cards. Oracle cards, there's no rules. Oracle cards, it's whatever the person wants, whoever made that deck, it's whatever they felt, how many they wanted to do, what the artwork is. There is no rule for it. Now, back in the time of my grandmother and my mom, they used bicycle cards. And I actually have a book. Excuse me, people, for 1 moment. I have a book called It's in the Cards. And it shows you how to use a regular bicycle deck of cards for reading cards. Now, Bicycle has made so many new decks. This is Anne Stokes. I don't know if you can see these. This is Anne Stokes' version of bicycle cards.
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
Yeah, not your mama's bicycle cards anymore. This is hers, and as you know, Anne Stokes makes 2 Ouija boards as well.
Oh, okay.
She has an angel one, and she has a Arachnofaria one.
Maybe the angel board I have, maybe it's from her. I don't know.
I think it is. I think I've seen that one. I think it is.
Oh,
but
beautiful.
She makes, now that's hers. They have clown ones. They have skull ones. They make a variety of bicycle cards now, not just the plain old bicycle cards. And there is a book that you can get to do that. Because back in the day, they didn't have these fancy cards. These didn't come out until, I think it was 1800s, is when Pamela Cole Smith did the artwork and made these for, his name was Waite, and Waite was his last name, and please forgive me, if anybody knows, put it in the down bar. She never made a penny off of these cards. And yet these are the cards I would absolutely recommend. If you are going to start learning tarot, these are the cards I would
have a deck of those, but I'm too overwhelmed with everything I'm doing to think that I have to learn the meanings of 78 cards, and it's so frustrating because it's a really fun thing to learn.
They have nowadays. You don't have to buy fancy books. You don't have to do any of that. There's so much information on the internet.
YouTube.
The World Wide Web. What is the name of it? EclecticTarot.com.
Oh, okay.
And there's LearnTarot.com and FreeTarotCourse.com. There's so many different places you can go on the net. YouTube has a bunch of information. But if you're going to start off with tarot, these are the ones I would use.
Okay.
You can get so many. I was just gifted this beautiful set right here. Let me see if I can grab them. I mean, they come in different, you can get little ones like this that have the little books. You can get big ones that have the big kits with the books, the big books and everything. And you can spend a lot of money on tarot cards.
You have a lot of cards too, don't you?
I do. I have about 20 decks of tarot cards and about maybe 5 decks of oracle. And that's small compared to some people's. I have seen some people that, they've got like a wall of bookshelf of just tarot cards.
Now, how long have you been doing the cards?
I've been doing the cards, well, I've been doing them a good 10 years, but I don't do them professionally. I don't do them for, I don't do them like online or anything like that. If somebody asks me to do a reading, I will be happy to do a reading for them. There are so many people that do tarot card readings. And I just watched one of my beautiful sisters in the craft yesterday talking to a tarot reader, and she said it so poignantly. If you see somebody with wedding rings on, you see somebody that's obese, you see somebody like that, it's obvious. When you're doing the reading, you're looking at them and you can already tell that. A real card reader will look at your soul, look in your eyes, and know what's going on. And when she reads the cards, or he reads the cards, they can read it from what they feel from you, not what's obvious. Because you can say, well, I see I see in the cards you're married. Well,
Well, I used to, when I'd go and get my cards read, I'd always take my wedding ring off.
Smart move.
But yeah, there's been good experiences I've had, and other times where I felt like I threw my money away. So when you're finding somebody to read your cards, it's very important. And of course, I'd never go to those gypsy places with the lighted up windows, $5. I went and never go to one of those, because they're just, every single woman in their clan reads the cards. It's just what they do. And then in Chicago, I went to this one gal because they lived in my neighborhood, and the little girl said, please come and get your cards read, please come. I said, all right. So I went, and then the woman read my cards, and then she says, somebody's put a curse on you, and, I can remove it, but I have to send to the home church in Israel for special candles, not just any candles, special candles.
Video on curses.
If you give me $250, I take the curse off of you with the special candles from the home church in Israel. When can you bring me the money? I said, never.
You could do a whole other video on curses.
I said, you're not getting a penny.
Nope. Now, I program my cards when I get them. Now, cards, and about the tarot readers, another thing before I forget. Tarot readers, you hit it right. You have to have a rapport with your tarot reader. When you find someone that you click with, that you feel comfortable with, that's who you stay with. They get to have a rapport with you. You get one with them. It's not that they know about you. It's they can read you much better. Now, I always, if people ask me to read, I don't charge because I'm not professional. I just do it. I do my own cards. I do my family's cards, but I will do somebody's reading if they ask me. But I just don't charge because I don't have, that's not my profession.
Right.
But when I'm going to program my cards, I did a video on this on my channel. I will take each card from that deck and I will hold it in my hands until I feel this warmth. Like they start to get hot, and I will put it down and I will do it for each card. Then I will do, like we said with the pendulum on the last video, I will hold all the cards and I will let the pendulum clear them, and then they're ready for use.
That's when you first buy them, right? You want to take them home and do that.
When you first buy them.
Yeah. Just
like your pendulums, like we did in the last video, your cards are personal to you. What somebody says works amazing for them for tarot cards may not work for you. You may not feel them. Like I said, if you're someone just starting out, I would absolutely get the Rider-Waite deck. It is the most famous. It is the easiest to read. It is, it makes it very simple. This is the deck.
I'll write it down in the description box, the name of that Rider-Waite, so people can see that if they want to.
But these are the ones that basically everyone starts off with.
Okay.
Because these are the ones that really got tarot moving. Because, like I said, back in the time of our mothers and grandmothers,
it sounds like back farther than that, because you said like 1600, 1700. My mother wasn't around then. Was yours?
No.
We're going to say, hey, what are you talking about? We're not that old.
I remember my mother, who once again will tell me no.
Yeah.
She'll be like, I don't remember that. I used to use them for playing cards. No, you didn't, Ma. But anyways, she would put these out, and my aunts would come over, and she would start reading from a regular deck of cards. And it used to amaze me, but she never taught us.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want us to, learn the craft. So I found this book, and you can go to thrift stores. I got this at Savers. I found
That's
this.
Savers. I've got to fly out there to Connecticut and go to that Savers. When I saw those books you got the other day on that book haul, these amazing books that I've been wanting. What are they? Is it a buck, a dollar place, that Savers, or what?
Savers is a thrift store. They go by.
Oh, it's a thrift store. Okay.
It's a thrift
I thought it was something like a dollar store or something.
I looked up all the prices for the books that I got. It was over $300. I got them for $25, the entire lot.
Unbelievable.
And the thing is, it was on one bookshelf. When I picked up all of those books, you could feel that it was somebody who, as sad as it sounds, it's someone who left the craft.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it was all from one person, right?
It's from one person. You could feel it. And you could feel it was someone who just felt that this wasn't for them. Mm-hmm. So they donated all the books. Because it was just too perfect, and it was just too many at once. Yeah. I've been over here for years, and you never see this.
Right.
This is one person, and they just...
And what about, you're talking about leaving the craft or the occult of it. What about the people who are afraid of the cards? Or I know the church had said don't use them because, of course, the church wants you to put all your trust in them and go there, not do things on your own, because then they wouldn't have anybody to go or followers. So, they would. I remember when I first got my cards read for a wedding gift one of my girlfriends gave me, and this was 14 years ago or something. My husband, growing up Catholic in Mexico, oh my God, you're evil. This is evil. What are you doing? And he was so upset about it. I mean, he was screaming at me. He goes, "What are you doing?" And then now, though, so many years later, he just wouldn't want me to spend the money on it, but he wouldn't care. He's really changed.
Tarot cards, just like any other divination tool. 99% of it is your own intuition. You've already got the gift inside you, but the cards are just bringing it out. Okay. Just like Ouija, just like the spirits are coming out to tell you what you pretty much already knew in your schema.
And we don't believe it with our own. That's why we want to look outside a lot. Yeah. We don't believe our own intuition.
But that's basically what the cards are. You're using your own intuition. It's coming through you into the cards to tell you what you already knew to tell this person because you're already feeling it. Souls have energy. Our souls have energy. And when you are connected with someone, when you are next to them, when you are getting the feel of them, you're feeling their energy. So you're already reading them before you even get the cards.
And it's interesting. I will say that it's a lot of fun to get a reading and everything. But as I'm, because I do have a girlfriend. Her name is Susanna, and she's also a family therapist. She's fantastic. So she'll read my cards. We'll do trades, energy work, and she'll read my cards. And she is absolutely fantastic. But as I'm going along, doing my own inner work and trusting myself and everything, lately, if somebody says, "Hey, you want a reading? What questions do you have?" It's like, well, I really don't have any questions anymore because I'm listening to myself. Because what are the questions people always want? They want, when is my love coming, or am I getting a divorce, or whatever? If you're in a relationship,
am I going to win the lottery?
Love, money, and career. Right? Those are really the only three. I know what I want to do going forward with my career. I know what I'm working on. I'm making money. I'm married. It's like, well, what? So sometimes I'll say, I don't have a question. Just tell me what you see. But as time goes on and we work on ourselves, like you said, listening to your intuition, we don't need those outside validations.
Sometimes you will even get, I'm sorry if you hear the phone ringing there. Sometimes you will get the cards and you will have a question about your mom, your grandmother, your family member, a family member. They're acting very sick. I think there's something wrong. The energy that you're getting from the source, from your higher self, from your great spirit, will come to those cards as you're doing the reading. And it will tell you, I think there's something wrong with, mom, dad, whatever. You put those cards into play and it doesn't give you like a doctor's, exam or whatever, but it's going to tell you, look into your heart.
Yeah.
there might be something going on, whatever. Amazing, amazing intuition, amazing divination tools. And like you said, there's so many divination tools. Oracle cards have no...
Yeah, the oracle cards are the ones that I was talking about in the other video with my pendulum that I will hold. I'll spread them all down on the floor separate, and I'll set my pendulum over each one. And then once it goes like this, that's the one with the message for me. The oracle cards.
Deborah Koff Chapin, years ago, made these cards called soul cards. I don't own a deck. I wish I did. She owns a Soul Cards 1 and Soul Cards 2. She never made them for reading cards. She made them strictly because she's an artist and she made these cards to show her artwork. There's 60 cards in each box, in the 1 and the 2. But readers took them and looked at them and said, you know what? I can get amazing readings off of these. And the soul cards are now used for readings. But that's never what she intended them for. And it's like I said, even with the bicycle cards, people use them forever. And now they come there's so many different types of bicycle cards with different pictures, different artwork on them.
That's beautiful. I love that one with the girl that you just showed.
That's it's gorgeous. There's just gorgeous ones.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's like a fairy or something.
Mm-hmm. And these are Anne Stoke ones. She is famous for her artwork. And she never intended to make, just like she has 2 beautiful Ouija boards, she never intended to make divination tools per se, but this is what came out of Bicycle, was a set of her cards that are used for reading. So you can take any box of cards and put them out, and your intuition and your higher self is going to give you the answers you're looking for.
Awesome.
But if you're looking for like the meaning of life, or am I going to get $1 million or whatever, any divination, you have to be reasonable about what you're asking. If you're asking for something that's just absolutely ridiculous, you're going to get a ridiculous answer because, the higher self is going to be like, what is wrong with you?
Right. It's got to be reasonable. All right, well, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Brenda.
Thank you. I love this. Bye. Bye-bye.